Welcome in. Welcome back. This is the story of how I started smoking weed. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. All right, so here it is. I'm 29 years old, and the first time I ever smoked weed, I was in 8th grade. That would make me 14 years old. So it's been 15 years. It's a 15-year battle. Um, First time I ever smoked weed was, like I said, 8th grade. It was actually the summer after 8th grade. My good friend, my great pal, my good buddy, Zach Ruffin. He didn't know what he was getting me into. He was just being a pal. Let's just have some fun. Let's just do it. Let's smoke some weed, bro. Let's smoke some dope. And I was like, all right, let's do it. He had an older sister. So I was in 8th grade. He was a freshman. His older sister was a junior, and she had a boyfriend who was a senior. Ryan Dixon was his name. Great guy, Ryan Dixon. Except he enjoyed getting 8th graders high, which technically probably isn't the best thing to do if you're a senior in high school. So I'll never forget. Summertime, 8th grade, summertime. I go to my good old pal Zach's, and his parents were gone or something, and so they had a party. And so Ryan Dixon comes out. He goes, "Let's go get high." And I was like, all right. Didn't know what I was getting into. We go into the car. There's 5 people packed in deep in this car. 3 seniors in high school, me and my buddy Zach. And we smoked probably 4 blunts. And this was the first time I ever got high. And I was a zombie. I was just laying there. And I remember I was so high. I was sitting on the couch, eating Doritos, watching Zach play Call of Duty World at War. And this was 2008. And I think, whatever. I'm eating Doritos. I dropped a Dorito, and I thought it landed on my lap, and I couldn't find it. And I was so stoned that for probably 20 minutes, I was looking underneath my belt loop of my jeans. I thought it was underneath there somewhere. And so I'm looking under my belt loop for 20 minutes for a Dorito that didn't exist. And so it was, unfortunately, a great time. It was absolutely awesome. It was hilarious. And so from that point on, 9th grade, I was a pothead. 10th grade, I was a pothead. 11th grade, I got in trouble. Oh, that wasn't for smoking weed. Different story. Senior year, got in trouble smoking pot. And really, it kind of screwed me up because I played baseball and football my whole life, but when I got to freshman year, I didn't play football because my high school was so big, and I didn't want to put in the work to go to the weight room. And I wasn't tall, I wasn't strong, but you can work on that in the weight room. I didn't know. All I was worried about was smoking weed. Junior year was probably the worst because that was when I could drive, and I would ride to school. I remember, this is so stupid. I had a streak going. It was junior year, the start of junior year. I had a streak going of it was 20-something days in a row of going to school high to start the junior year. And I kept track of that. It's a miracle, that I even survived or had anything good come from my life because I smoked weed constantly. I remember one time I got suspended from school. I was a sophomore. I got suspended from school, and my older brother was a senior, and I was suspended from school, and I was at home, and my brother and like a couple of his buddies, they come home for lunch, and Tom Beauvais showed me how to scrape resin out of a bowl and hit resin balls. And so he left me his bowl, and I had this huge resin ball that Tom Beauvais taught me how to smoke. It's so weird how older kids just like to show younger kids how to get high. It's kind of messed up. But yeah, so crazy. Senior year. Wait, no, I got caught smoking weed when I was a sophomore. I got no notes. You guys know me. I'm a no notes kind of guy. I'm all over the place, but sophomore year in high school, I got caught smoking weed in the parking lot. I was in my Spanish class. It was second hour. I was in Spanish class in second hour. I had all intentions of going to school that day. But I forgot my Spanish book in my locker. And so I left my backpack in class, and I was like, hey, Mrs. Whatever, can I go get my book? I left it. Let me go grab it. This was like right at the start of class. She's like, yeah, hurry up. So I run to my locker. I grab my Spanish book. I put in the code. Spanish book. Got it. And I start walking back. Hallways completely empty. Not a single person in sight. All of a sudden, I hear a door open behind me. It's the main office. I turn around. Who's there? No one other than Luke Wampler. Now, Luke Wampler was a senior. I was a sophomore. Luke Wampler was a good pal of my brother, and he was known to be a great troublemaker kind of guy. You know, fun to hang out with because he's always going to get into some sort of trouble. And he goes, hey, dude, what's up? And I was like, oh, nothing, just grabbing my Spanish book, going to class. And he goes, nice, I'm about to go home. I got a pass or something. He had a migraine. He's like, yeah, I'm going home. I got a migraine. But if you have a migraine, you're not talking to people and asking them to smoke weed. So he's like, yeah, dude, I'm going home. You want to come smoke with me? And I was like, no, dude, I got to go to Spanish class. And he, like, peer pressured me. And he said the stupidest line, and I fell for it. He goes, come on, dude, Spanish is for Spanish kids. And I said, wow, yeah, you're right. Spanish is for Spanish kids. And so we freaking walk our butts right out into the parking lot. And he says, well, I asked him, I was like, where are we going to do this? He goes, oh, I'm just going to find a car. Just someone's car that's open. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, people leave their cars unlocked all the time. We're just going to find someone's car and smoke it. You know, smoke it out. And I was like, I know a car that's unlocked. My older brother, I got two older brothers, by the way. The one who was a junior, we went into his car, and we smoked in his car, and we smoked a bowl, and we were like, all right, we should probably get out of here. And I was like, well, I know Chip's got more weed. Let's smoke a bowl of his weed. So we stayed, smoked another bowl, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of our eyes, we see the security guard. He's walking through the parking lot. He's checking parking passes. So he's looking in every car, checking if they got a parking pass. And so we're stoned, and we're freaking out. We're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? He's like coming right down our lane. And Luke has this great idea. Instead of like hiding or like, you know, whatever, he's like, dude, let's just go. So we open the door, and we start to like get out. And the security guard clearly sees us, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And we were fucking stoned. What do you expect? We just stood there, and we're like, nothing. And we could have ran. Sure, we could have ran. That would have been exciting. It would have been a good story. We didn't. We walked right over to him, and we were like, oh, nothing. I was just grabbing my Spanish book. That's what I told him. He goes, oh, nice. You're grabbing your Spanish book. That's cool. And we thought we were getting away with it. And he goes, okay, cool. I got one question, though. Why do you guys smell like dope? And we must have reeked of weed. So, yeah, we got caught big time. Big time probation, suspension, all the whole 9 yards. And, yeah. So, I don't know why I'm telling you this story. I guess I'm telling you because it's my solo therapy. maybe I'm just like going through the history of why the fuck I can't stop smoking weed. So, but that's kind of the point of this video. It's the first of the year, January 1st, 2024. So I'm just going to prove to myself that I can go a whole year without smoking weed. It's going to require some self-control, but I believe I can do it. And the reason I want to do it is because anytime I smoke weed, I turn into a useless zombie. Because I don't just like smoke weed, and call it good. It's a slippery slope for me, folks. It's what they call a stronghold. If you ever heard the term stronghold, it's where the devil, uses something. Everyone's got something different, and it has a stronghold on you. And you slide slippery slope down into the depths of just self-sabotage, unhealthy habits, just not to mention I'm just an absolute bitch when I smoke weed. I don't work out, I don't cold plunge, I don't do anything. I eat whatever I want. And so I'm just gonna say done with it. So yeah, stay tuned. If I fail, which I won't, but I will hold myself accountable and come clean, because secrets never helped anybody. So I'm gonna not keep it secret even if I do fail, but I'm not gonna smoke all of 2024, a whole year. Crazy. All right, that's pretty much it. Peace and blessings.